All right, I'm coming back. This is part three, and I cut off in part two of this video portion. Um, and I was talking about the county facing a crisis as far as the exodus of folks that are you know responsible, people that love liberty, all this stuff like that. Uh, it's just craziness. When I sit and look at it from my perspective, uh, just craziness. Um, what if I could want anything more for the county? It's just I just want the county to uh, do what's right. Actually, follow the Constitution. Um, for government officials to actually be transparent. Because in one of my previous videos, I did a review of an article about the police. It was the police, Prince George's police, where they had beat up an off-duty D.C. police officer, and I think it was called whipping on me, and whipping on me. And in the very end of that article, it was it was the county said you have to file a Maryland Public Information Act request to get information as far as how much they spend on lawsuits, how the settlements and the litigation and all that stuff. And it's just like, man, rather than be transparent and to acknowledge their wrongdoing, they would rather double down on bad policy uh, and just spend taxpayers' money irresponsible in these settlements. And I think a lot of this has to do with the county being embarrassed. The police department being embarrassed, the county executive's office being embarrassed, the county council being embarrassed. A lot of these people are just embarrassed. They see all this stuff on the news. And it just gets to the point of being outrageous. Uh, now I know what I just thought about. There was a video with the officers. They made a spoof video about the police and their behavior here in Prince George's County. I guess it was something that really rattled the police chief. Because he was out there on the news. It was carried by a lot of local media. News Channel 4, News Channel 9, Channel 5 News picked it up. It was carried in the Baltimore Sun. Fox 45 in Baltimore picked it up. And Washington Post, Washington Times. A lot of media covered that story with the video. And it was on a lot of on the internet. It's on a lot of police magazines. Police1.com, so forth, like that. And the police chief, he was flanked by his top deputies and so forth, and he was out there trying to, I guess, take responsibility and say, hey, this is not reflective of the department. But there was a lot of truth, undoubtedly, in that video. And I was reading an article where the police attempted to have it taken off YouTube. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That the U.S. Supreme Court has been very clear. Just because something might be offensive, just because something might be disgusting, as quoted by Chief McGaw, that doesn't give the government the authority to censor that material. And the case that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on in that was the Westboro Baptist Church. Those are the people that protest outside of funerals, I believe. I've seen them on TV, you know. But like I say, that's what the court said. The U.S. Supreme Court said, hey, just because something's very offensive, just because something is, you know, disgusting, you know, the First Amendment's there to protect it. You have to back off of it. So apparently the police tried to get that taken off the internet or YouTube, but it was reposted and it's got like 30,000 something hits. So those officers and those folks, I guess they were tremendously embarrassed by that. You know, the police chief, you know, he was there. It was his top deputies, you know, the FOP people, Fraternal Order of Police. The NAACP for the county got involved. You know, they issued a statement on it. You know, it was an article in the Washington Times. You know, so it created a real big stink. You know, and oddly enough, in that video, the police are in there talking about they're going to taser people for videotaping them, and oddly enough, they're in there saying they're going to delete people's video recordings. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, it's like Prince George's police. They seem to never learn their lesson, though. But you know, the drum beat. I'll say this though: the drum beat grows louder and louder and louder for the U.S. Department of Justice to come in and take over. You know, and to investigate these folks. You know. Back in, I want to say 2000. I apologize if the dates are wrong in my mind, but the Prince George's police were already under the consent decree. It was like with the canine dogs. They had the police dogs biting folks, all this other craziness. U.S. Department of Justice came in. They had to do a consent decree. Actually, an officer was convicted. I believe it was a female officer. Got like 10 years in federal prison. So Prince George's County Police, they've already tangled with the U.S. Department of Justice, and they still didn't learn their lesson. So, you know, probably in my mind, you know, what does it take for them to change? You know, the U.S. Department of Justice has the power to seize police departments, not just, you know, a lot of times they just enter into consent decrees where the police department agrees to do reforms, and you know they have a monitor or so forth. But you know the department, U.S. Department of Justice can sue them, take them to the federal court, you know, to the federal judge, and seize the department, seize the control of the department from the local county council, from the local county executive, or you know the mayor or whatever may be the case. Seize that power away from them. Appoint that police department into receivership, like out in Oakland. I apologize. You know, I was having a momentary lapse, and you know, I had a lot of thoughts going through my mind. I was trying to organize them in my mind, but there was the Oakland police. They just went into basically receivership. They're not calling it receivership, but you know, the court basically wrestled power away from the police chief and the mayor out there in Oakland, California. And you know, I ask myself, you know, is something as drastic as that needed? You know, does there need to be litigation brought in the federal courthouses and the federal courthouse in Prince George's County to truly reform Prince George's County Police Department, you know, to truly root out corruption, to truly root out police abuse, you know, to truly bring about transparency. You know, these are tough questions that the county, you know, and the citizens have to face, you know, and hopefully try and answer and fix, you know, because and at the end of the day, it's our members of the community that are suffering. It's our community, members of the community that are dying, you know. So hopefully, you know, change can come. You know, hopefully reform can come. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I thank you for watching as always, and take care.